and the golden voice of Neal Ruhl. Sit back and relax. It's time for your daily dose of Big D energy.
Hey, yo, welcome back, everybody. Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network, Neal Ruhl, Darren McCarty. We have, of course, Spencer Raxter here in the building. This opened today. And oh, by the way, all of you in the WoodwardSports.com chat thread, subscribe to the Woodward Sports YouTube channel. Jump in there. All right, this is going to be a wild first segment here, and it's got a little to do with sports. But the duality of life, Darren McCarty.
It's unbelievable.
It's
unbelievable. I'm going through something right now that everybody else, most people, I would say 90% of probably human beings experience.
At some point in their life have.
And that's the loss of a pet. And without getting too emotional here, I lost my 4-year-old Persian. I have two Persians, two Persian male and female 4-year-olds, and King Louis decided to leave us yesterday, and he'd been sick. He actually survived probably about 18-20 months longer than we thought he would. He had some bad kidneys and stuff. And, it was a tough night. More worried about his sister, but she's been comforting me. And so to anybody out there who's lost any kind of pet, it was a tough night, but it wasn't as bad. I had a great support system, and just so my condolences to I would just say, please give your pets a little extra hug just for D-Mac today.
Sorry for your loss, D-Mac.
Yeah.
So, but then, Neal, it's not all gloomy, and we don't always leave. Remember, the cup's not always half empty or half full. It's always refillable. Because when I came in today, I was like, oh my God, is this December 25th? Is this Christmas?
In the sound booth today, we have BMG, Big Mike Gentry. Mike, good to see you.
But
You just stopping by today?
No, this
Oh,
is
you're not.
final. This is final.
New sound guy
Is this
for Big D Energy,
officially
BMG, Big
the
Mike
official
Gentry.
First day for Big Mike Gentry in the sound booth. Sam Flannel has grown too big for Big D Energy, so he's Juicy Jeff's problem in the Morning Wood show. And what can I say? He could only couldn't last a whole year, 333 days, and I don't got to look at that.
And not a
goddamn
moment too
Flannel,
soon.
Not a moment too soon. So, yes, unfortunately, you guys are gonna have to go watch Sam in the Morning Wood. I'm sure that his takes aren't going to get much better, but again, Michael, welcome, kid.
Thank you, boys.
Welcome.
Glad to be a part of the show.
And did I not? Were you excited because you said something about Mike knows what a telephone is?
And that's Dan Wood, first one in after we make this big announcement. Can BMG take phone calls?
I don't know, Neal. Can I?
You have in the past.
Okay.
You have in the past.
Okay.
BMG is, I'm going to start calling BMG the total package.
I like it, Lex
because
Luger, baby.
That's what he is.
You
With
got
all
some
apologies
Luger
to
in
Lex
him.
Luger,
Nice.
BMG is the total package.
I love it.
Appreciate
So the
that.
total package is here. No, we're joking and everything like that. No, we will miss Sam Flannel, but hey, you know how it goes.
Absolutely.
Well, see you later. All right, anyway, though. Morning Wood, good luck, Sam Flannel. We made you here. I'm always going to say that no matter what. But, yeah, that's what it is.
But he survived.
He did. He did survive.
Hey,
Barely. Jay Singles, round of applause, everybody. Now, come on, Rusty Shackelford. We will not miss Sam Flannel. Now, come on. I feel like Chris Jericho right now with Dean Malenko. Who did this? No, but yeah, that is some news. But again, the duality of man, duality of life, and everything. The lows, the highs, everything changes, and it's. D-Mac, obviously sad to hear about your loss, and people are talking about that.
Can I just ask one thing too?
Yeah.
And I put this out on my D-Mac OSB Facebook yesterday. But a question now, right? So I've had these two cats they grew up together since they were babies. Now I'm pondering, do I has somebody lost a couple cats that grew up together, and did you replace them? Should I get another male? I was thinking also too. Somebody mentioned get a couple kittens, get 2 kittens that come up together, and I think that the way that Princess Penelope Lou, yeah, exactly, call her Lulu, is that she is an alpha, so she would be very motherly and nurturing. So if anybody's got any tips that they've gone through the chat thread, please throw it in there so I can read them. But yeah, just appreciate all the love and support that I've gotten on the socials and stuff too.
Well, and the legacy lives on, D-Mac, because I actually picked your brain and you didn't even know it yesterday when I was talking about, so my daughter's cat, Hunter, she decided she wanted to name him. Not Brandon Katz, a.k.a. Brandon Katz. That's that's his show name. His show name will be Brandon Katz. But yeah, he's starting to do the thing with the claws and stuff like that. So D-Mac told me hit him with the spray bottle, right?
Yeah.
Not a fire hose or anything like that, just the spray bottle. Yeah. So that's what we're going to implement in the Ruhl household. But yeah, the
Keep 'em
pet
off
scene,
the counter.
the pet, and keep them off the counter. Exactly. The pet scene is wild to me. Part of the reason I didn't want to get into it is because of that, D-Mac. Because look, the movie Cocktail said it best: all things end badly, or else they don't end. Like that's the way that it's predestined to work, D-Mac.
Well, I mean,
it is.
Think about it. That's the way life is.
100%.
It ends in death, right?
It always has, and it always
death.
will.
Yeah,
no matter what. But
I'm living forever.
Except for Spencer Raxter.
You know what? You might be. I would understand. Hey, how about I got a kick out of that, and this is a little bit beside, but Spenny, it sounds like that lady on the plane Braylon was with, just had your warm-up package. Yeah. I mean, I was thinking that's what she's trying to hang with Spencer or whatever. A couple drinks on the plane.
Yeah. Joseph Campbell says, sorry for your loss, D-Mac.
Thank you.
And then obviously the big story of the day, the Red Wings, Steve Yzerman made a trade which necessitated me to, trust the Yzer plan shirt. Shout out Sandy, appreciate that. We're going to get into that coming up in the segment, the kickoff segment. But I did want to discuss this, and there's a lot of Lions stuff to get to. But D-Mac, I told you, and people accuse me of why do you hate the Tigers and stuff like that, and it's actually quite the opposite with me. I get so angry up here about it because it is an everyday part of my life in the summer.
Dude, I don't... To that point, right? Don't you get upset because you care?
100%.
Yeah, no.
100%.
Don't people get upset or because they care a little bit too much? And because when you don't care, you're sort of aloof to it. But it's because it's a fabric. It's a fabric. And Tigers baseball
is a fabric.
Fabric, even more than Lions football. Lions football has been a joke our whole life, except for a few spots here and there, a few players here and there, up until now.
And it's only 17 times.
Absolutely. But the Tigers is like you said, is a fabric of just think back of how many times you got into a car as a kid in the afternoon and you heard Ernie Harwell's voice. Not that you would listen, but your parents or your grandparents were listening. It's a fabric.
100%.
Especially here in Detroit.
And the thing that's extra frustrating about it is I notice a lot of parallels with my kids. I get even more upset when you don't try.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying? Organizationally. Even people in the media be like, man, you go hard on Chris Ilitch. Well, yeah, I do. Are we doing everything we can do to win? Are we? You know the answer to that question. That's the thing that makes me even more upset about it. However, I'm still there, and I'm always going to be there. And last night, D-Mac, I got one of those moments when Miguel Cabrera hit that home run. That's why I'm going to go see him play one more time. I made sure I took it in even more yesterday, because who knows, in the WoodwardSports.com chat thread, Miggy home run last night, will it be his last one? I don't know.
Does the same owe us coffee for that? Wouldn't he owe us coffee for the last Miggy home run too?
I'm sure he will.
Yeah.
But it was vintage Miggy too. Just a bomb. An absolute bomb. It was vintage.
Have you seen him hit a ball like that in how long?
It's been a minute.
It's been a minute.
But there it was.
Isn't it cool?
I went right back to it,
Didn't it remind you of Roy Hobbs? Wasn't that the Roy Hobbs moment in The Natural? Almost, right? He's still... didn't we all think, and we see the way that he's played lately, and he still gets his singles, and he's still, showing that he's one of the best hitters of all time. But the power, right? Wasn't it nice, Neal? It was throwback, wasn't it?
It was.
Didn't it give you throwback to the heydays when these guys were contending for World Series?
No, and I took that moment in, and look, you guys can say whatever you want about Miguel Cabrera. This has always been, will always be, and forever will be a Miguel Cabrera slander-free zone. As long as I'm on this network, as long as I'm talking into this microphone, I'm not hearing it. Because I don't want to hear the crying about it and the contract and stuff like that. I broke it down for you guys, how this stuff works financially. He didn't sign a 10-year, $350 million contract. He signed a 5-year, $350 million contract. That's what it always was going to be. They stretch it out to 10 so they don't have to pay luxury tax on it. Spoiler alert, everybody. That's why these contracts are so long, and that's why you continue to see them, and you'll always see them. That's why. They're skirting the luxury tax. It's owners being owners, okay? So through all of that, I got a joy out of sports last night, and it was most unexpected, and it was cool. It was cool, and I loved it, D-Mac. And the look on Miggy's face, he knows it's over. But for 1 second, he got it back. I would imagine when you won your last cup, because that wasn't guaranteed to you, obviously, you had to climb out of it, climb out of the depths of life and everything like that to get back to that moment. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like, I would imagine it hit a little different.
I think that's much more on a bigger scale, but you know what it was like? It was like scoring a goal in the playoffs against Nashville in 08, or coming back in my last NHL goals against Marc-Andre Fleury, in the 09 season or something. Like, getting that, having one last goal when you don't know.
Because you had it, it was the way things were. It was taken away, and then for a moment, you got it back.
Yeah.
And you could tell on Miggy's face.
And so the 08 Cup for the fourth one, and when I came back, is the grandest scale to that.
Yes. And that's what it was.
Bless you, Spenny.
Yeah, thank you. We got some reports at camp. There's a lot of the different beat writers that
I'm seeing it.
Yeah, J-Mo looked like a hammy. He pulled up during a route, collapsed on the field, got looked at by trainers, but walked off the field under his own power to go to the locker room. Amon-Ra St. Brown, an ankle tweak or something. It didn't look like anything serious. He got his ankle taped up, and he was running, doing cuts on the sideline, so he should be fine.
Okay.
Buckle up, boys and girls. It's part of the... Here we go. Whee!
You guys just thought, you guys just thought that C.J. Gardner-Johnson was going to be the only hill on the roller coaster. Yeah. It's only the first. It was only the first. So it is. Tony D says, Miggy's a legend and makes me cry to see the opposition's fans cheer him on. And that's what it was. Remember that, too, everybody. That's how much juice that man has. Opposing crowds give him a standing. That's how dominant he was.
How about Minnesota giving him a hockey stick and a fishing pole? I love it.
That was low-key pretty funny.
funny.
That one was good. Brandon Katz, Cabrera retired 3 years ago. He's just making it official this year. No, I would say it was even 5 years ago. Because, again, Brandon, you should understand this, bro. That's the way these things work. No owner's going to pay the luxury tax if they don't have to, so you just extend the deal further and further and further down the road. Everybody knows how it ends, man. If only for a moment, though, and the look on his face. And you can say whatever you want about Miguel Cabrera. Whatever you want. That man gave you everything he had all the time, and that man enjoyed playing baseball and enjoyed being a Detroit Tiger.
Absolutely.
Hard stop. Right after. Nobody else can say anything. Well, you can say what you want about time happening to him, and I don't care. But you cannot question that man's love for baseball and his love for being a Detroit Tiger, and you even saw it again last night.
Well, and you're talking about his play. Look at the way that he is, even when he's in the game or out of the game in the dugout. He's always goofing around. That shows he's always having fun, trying to keep things light.
No, absolutely. So there's a bunch of stuff we got to get into. We'll do some digging and see what we can find on the social medias about the J-Mo and the Amon-Ra St. Brown situation at training camp. The Red Wings made a trade. Teddy Bridgewater's going to wear number 50, which is wild to me. There's a ton of stuff to get to. an absolute ton of stuff. So lock and load, everybody. We're getting in there. D-Mac, after this show, man, we're going to need a Guardian.
Yeah, no doubt. And we all know it. Guardian Alarm's there for everybody, but let Guardian Alarm offer you customized solutions from real experts, professional technicians who take the time to recommend security and automation solutions specific to your needs. But I need you to call Guardian today. The number, 1-800.
Stay out.
24/7 professional monitoring. Call anytime, day or night, and know that a Guardian team member will stay on the phone as long as needed. So please call the number, 1-800.
Stay out.
Technology backed by people. Your safety and security deserves technology that's been proven to work, and people, yes, real flesh and blood, who have been proven to care. Mikey, what do you care about? You care about your hats? Well, they'll protect your hats. The first day, what hat you wearing today, Mike?
My Arcadia Bluffs one,
Arcadia
actually.
Bluffs. He's protecting BMG's Arcadia Bluffs. It'll protect your hats, business, personal, whatever it is to you. Day one for BMG in the booth. Guardian Alarm will protect whatever you want. Give him a call today. 1-800.
Stay out.
Spenny?
Stay out of Lions training camp injuries.
Yes.
Absolutely. Guardian Alarm. Get down there. Allen Park. Protect us all. Your local security experts. Tell them Big D Energy we sent you.
Big Boy Strawberry Fest has officially arrived, and we're here to show you the very best flavors of the season. Satisfy your sweet tooth with our deep-fried vanilla Oreos, strawberry hot fudge cake, and a slice of our classic strawberry pie. But that's not all. Cool off on a refreshing summer splash salad, or savor the flavors of our chicken Caesar wrap and strawberry bacon chicken wrap. And for breakfast lovers, don't miss out on our strawberry hotcakes or our mouth-watering red velvet waffle. Strawberry Fest is something for everyone. Celebrate the sweet season with us at Big Boy.
Your home is your most important asset. Flexibility in the sales process is key. When you work with Mark White & Associates, you can cancel at any time, for any reason, without penalty. Speaking of flexibility, check this out. Who you work with matters. Hire the best broker in the game.
We aren't quite sure if they consume more beer or sports. Either way, the heavyweights are here. Live on Woodward Sports, daily 5 to 7 p.m.
Neal Ruhl here for the Academy of Warren. My guy, Mr. Kearney. They got a brand new state-of-the-art sports dome field house with a regulation basketball court, volleyball court, and soccer field, which can also be used for 7-on-7 football. Academy of Warren also features AM/PM latchkey, small classroom sizes, a learning street, futuristic media center, free breakfast and lunch, Hope Mifflin curriculum, academic games, and of course K-8 athletics. Don't forget Ermanni and Edwards will be broadcasting live from their carnival on August 24th. Come meet the staff and explore your child's new school. Academy of Warren now accepting new enrollment. Go to academyofwarren.net and enroll today. It's that time, everybody. We are off and running. Usually don't get this on a Wednesday in the sports talk game, but here we are. Busting at the seams with storylines and everything going on. Even the Red Wings made a trade as well. So we'll continue to effort to get more info. Do we have anybody out there at camp?
Yeah, Broder's there.
Okay, Broder is there.
Broder said that he pulled up running a deep route, collapsed on the field, and then walked off under his own power. It's Eric Woodward from ESPN. He says wide receiver Jameson Williams left practice to enter the locker room early after hurting his leg in mid-stride on a deep ball route. He was grabbing the right hamstring area. And then Colton Pouncey says Amon-Ra St. Brown is running in the end zone after leaving the 7-on-7 period of practice. He was just given his helmet back. Special teams drills going on right now, so we'll see if he's able to return.
All right, there it is.
So it sounds like Amon-Ra was just a tweaked ankle, probably rolled an ankle or something.
Okay.
JMO might have caught a hammy.
All right, so there it is. We'll keep an eye on that. As of right now, I don't think it's a segment right this second. We'll see if we get some more information and see what the story is. Steve Wilds, JMO, no impact this year, 0. Here we go. Okay, man. But anyway, Red Wings made a trade D-Mac, and it was interesting because I saw you in the X sphere, Twitter sphere. Like, are we committed? Is this X thing for, like, is that what we're going to go with?
I'm calling it Twitter.
You know what? I'm calling it
like
Twitter,
Pine
too.
Knob.
Yeah.
It's like Pine Knob. They'll switch you back.
Yeah.
Just like that. It's not DTE. Call it
It's
Pine
Twitter.
Knob. I mean,
It's
to me, it's
Twitter.
Twitter. I don't even know.
All right.
100%.
But anyway, the Red Wings obtained Jeff Petry from the Montreal Canadiens. They gave up Gustav Lindstrom, a conditional 4th-round pick. Now, the interesting part of this to me, and I'll break this down because I saw you had some interaction. The interesting part of this
With an
to
idiot.
me, Montreal.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Spenny, can you pull up? Yeah, thank you.
Montreal is retaining 50% of the remaining salary obligation pertaining to his contract. The Red Wings have to pay 37% of the remaining money on his contract. Now, he came from Pittsburgh, correct?
No, Montreal.
Montreal.
No,
He used to be
before.
Yeah, He came from Pittsburgh to Montreal.
Yes.
So that was a story. I don't know what the remaining 13% of the salary is. Somebody else.
So
the Red Wings aren't paying it. That's
So
all I
let's
know.
not even talk about.
Yeah.
Let's not even talk about the talent or whatever it is. First off, let's talk about from a contract, point of view or the money wise, because you're the draft capital salary cap
Yes.
guy. What does that tell? What is the feedback when you see this reaction with what you gave up, right, to get a legitimate, right? Not only, but this guy's got one of the best shots in the league. Shea Weber, yes, biggest right hand bomb. Jeff Petry, right behind him. As far as bringing the heat, power play from the back end, yeah. I'm not sure how old he is. Gentry, do you know how old?
I want to say he's like 35.
Okay, so coming here to fill a role. I expect him to be in the lineup. It gives you more depth, but the biggest thing, Neal, that slapped me in the face is what it always does, is you're paying, less than 50% of his salary. Where's the loss here? Plus, Gustav Lindstrom, good player, but he's a 6th guy. He's a stay-at-home guy. This guy brings the offense. What have we been preaching on about when we talk about DeBrincat and stuff like this? Why is our team going to be better? If you're going to focus on one thing, it's power play. This guy adds to that right shot in the power play. You've added Goss this year and Petry for your power play on the back end. Can you read it?
Yeah, this is
Neal,
Patrick Bacon.
can you please read that and then read?
Yeah. So D-Mac got in the mix yesterday, and there was some pushback about it on Twitter. Patrick Bacon said Steve Yzerman being a top GM in Tampa for about a decade and immediately being terrible in Detroit is a sign that a GM's performance is more heavily influenced by luck and external factors like ownership, scouting, geography, etc., than most of us care to admit. And obviously, D-Mac, so you're talking to people that have no idea when 20% of your cap is tied up in Justin Applicator, Spartan Dog. Franz Nielsen.
Jeff Petry, Spartan Dog.
Yeah, Jimmy Howard, etc.
Nobody looks at the path that Hansel and Gretel laid down with the stones of how you got here. Would you please just go to the why of how you got here and what it took to get here? Because that's why that's a ludicrous statement, because he was dealing with so much more existential issues that people don't get. Only like you, and you bring it to my attention because it's like salary cap stuff. Now, he's not only running the draft, right, with the guys that he wants, the picks, having so many picks, but with the money, how do you get a guy like isn't this a great opportunity? Like, what's so bad about this? Now, if there's health issues and age issues with Petry, that's the gamble you're willing to take.
No question.
And he's a hometown kid.
He's definitely a declining veteran defenseman, but I don't understand why, like, the Twitter world, like, that's the trade that put them over the edge. Like, you traded Gustav Lindstrom, like.
Well, and here's the thing. I'll work backwards forward on everybody for a moment right here. Like Brandon Katz says, Petry's 35. This is not a meaningful move. I'll address that first. It's meaningful because this is a specialist role he's walking into in an area that you have to be good at to win in the NHL. You have to have a good power play to go to the playoffs in the NHL. Don't give me a unicorn example. generally, an overwhelmingly majority of the time, you have to have a good power play. To me, D-Mac, and you correct me here, or BMG, you correct me here, what this screams to me is that he will come here in that specialist role, especially to run point on the power play, to be a threat to score on the power play. They're not looking for him to play 200 feet and come in and defend at 35 years old and run with Mo Sider and check Steven Stamkos and Connor No, that's not what he's here for. He's here for the specialist role.
And
It's so brilliant because Gostisbehere is a lefty and he's a righty. It's brilliant.
Yeah, no.
What do you got, BMG?
Though one thing it does worry me about is maybe that Simon Edvinsson may be a little more banged up than expected, but this is the perfect placeholder. And like you said, it's only 2 years. You're not paying him much. You're not paying much of a salary at all. So, I mean, I think it's a win-win.
And again, it's one of those moves where, look, Steve Yzerman already drew the line in the sand. It's time to move now. You go get Alex DeBrincat. You're not doing that saying, well, I hope some more stuff comes together and maybe in 2 years we can get back in the playoffs. No, it's moving time now. These are moving time moves. This is what you all asked for. This is what the other sports entity in town was talking about. It's time to go make a push for the playoffs. What are you doing? You're sitting on your hands. These are moves you make to make the playoffs. And they're paying 37% of his contract. So here's the breakdown when you work backwards on it for people that say it's not a meaningful move. With all due respect to Gustav Lindstrom, seventh defenseman, eighth defenseman, with all due respect. Is that fair?
6-7.
6-7.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, 100% fair.
What's Petry's role next year?
Even if he's your 6, he's your power play 6.
He's your he's your 6 that can score on the power play. Specialist role.
Yes.
That's what I'm talking about, D-Mac.
Now we're adding special. Oh, wow. We're caveating now.
Yes.
Right?
And
Doesn't that what playoff teams do? They sort of be able to tweak it in.
And what good GMs do is this, D-Mac. He wants to maintain that salary flexibility. So what do? You serve up that 4th-round pick, and you give him Lindstrom because what are you doing with that? You sold them. There are 2 separate transactions. This is what I always talked about with the Matt Stafford trade. There were 2 separate transactions for what they did with Matt Stafford. They got a 1st-round pick for Matt Stafford, and they got a 1st-round pick to take Jared Goff. The Red Wings just made 2 separate deals in one. They got Jeff Petry. Then they essentially sold Gustav Lindstrom and a 4th-round draft pick for the rest of the contract, the 37%. That's it. That's all, guys.
And to BMG's point about Edvinsson and to all the younger D, it doesn't mean that they have to rush them. So whether it's because of injury or not, but just to everybody knows, hey, all in due time. There's a push for the playoffs, but there's not a rush to get guys when they're not ready to play. This just makes them better. You can't say that this deal right here doesn't make them better than they were than yesterday.
Right. And here's the deal, and Spemo, you're going to like this one. I got this one all lined up for you. When Steve Yzerman makes a trade, it's a lot like Cardi B. I make money moves. That's what he's doing out there. That's what he's doing. Protecting salary cap. I make money moves. You can see it coming from a mile away. That's it. Like, it's 2 separate deals in one, everybody. And this one's classic right here. It is. And it's not like, you're a Steve bot. You're just, no, break it down. Break it down. Work backwards on it. I gave you the why. So what's your if you hate this, then what's your response to the logic I just dropped to you? You don't have any. Because there is nothing you can say. It's cap friendly. You didn't give up really anything. He has a treasure trove of draft picks. This is what you asked for. He's making a move right now. D-Mac, the everyone around town, the cat spots and everything. What are they doing to go make the playoffs? Well, I would say DeBrincat and a specialist for your power play that can score goals as a defenseman on your power play, which he can do. I'm not asking him to check Connor McDavid, everybody. Go score a couple goals on the power play. That's it. That's the sole determiner that will make this a good trade. If he gets 5 goals on the power play, it was a good trade.
And the percentage of the power play improves.
Goes up.
Because that's not only is that help your offense, but it helps your defense.
That's it, man. So I don't know what else I can say to you guys. I gave you the why. Good talk. There's no other way to go on it. There isn't. We talk about the Sports Marketing Agency. They help spread awareness about mental health and substance abuse. Their new podcast, This is the S Word, helps address the stigma associated with seeking help. If you're struggling or someone you know is struggling, go to thesportsma.com. Thesportsma.com, the Sports Marketing Agency. They're here to help.
Calling all landscapers. This is Darren McCarty. I'm at Outdoor Equipment Co. How would you like to landscape like a legend? How about a bad boy zero turn? And even a chainsaw. And even a weed whipper. So register today at OutdoorEquipCo.com, and even you could have DMAC on your landscaping crew.
Neal Ruhl here for 5 Iron Golf, where you can play, practice, and party at 5 Iron Golf, located downtown inside the Cambria Hotel. It's downtown's newest sports bar, 13 TrackMan simulator, certified instructors, and of course, a full bar and restaurant. Right now, you can get involved and save some cash as well. Mention promo code Woodward at checkout for 50% off your first visit. Go to 5irongolf.com, tee up the good times, and again, mention promo code Woodward at checkout. Get 50% off your first visit. Woodward Sports Network is also participating in a Thursday night golf league with the simulators with all the Woodward sports fans. We'll be there tomorrow, right, Spenny?
Yeah.
Tomorrow.
Yeah.
We'll be down there. I can't wait.
I can't wait either.
I can't wait either.
I'll be hitting shots. You guys got the show.
No, absolutely. The league is
a clinic.
The league is hosted by 5 Iron Golf and co-presented by Mark White and Associates and the Finnish Long Drink. All shows broadcasting live from 5 Iron Golf tomorrow downtown inside the Cambria Hotel. Get to 5irongolf.com. Keeping it pushing,
Hey,
Big D Energy.
New commercial there.
Yeah.
I like that, Spenny. You're lucky you're so fast, buddy. I almost had you with that weed whip too. I didn't, and I like the noise that came out of your mouth. We didn't hear it right there, but that was cool. We had fun doing that. Thanks to Outdoor Equipment Company.
Yeah, that was a good time.
Speaking of that, Nicholas Duncan says, if I was in Michigan, I would be heading to the Dispo. So there's that as well.
We'll get to that one.
Yeah, absolutely we will. Jump into that WoodwardSports.com chat thread. Subscribe to the Woodward Sports YouTube channel. And while you're at it, you can subscribe to the Big D Energy podcast. Spencer, if you had just subscribed to the Big D Energy podcast, what would you do next?
5-star.
He would give it a 5-star review. Rate it, review it. Give us your best Sam Flannel memory. Or your worst Sam Flannel memory. On the review page for the Big D Energy podcast. iTunes, Spotify, Spreaker, wherever you get that. But yeah, so just had to break it down a little bit about the Jeff Petry trade because it was very, very obvious to me what Steve Yzerman was doing. You replace like for like, except the like has the ability with a highly specialized skill. And you save 50% in salary because you traded a player and a draft pick. Pretty easy to me, D-Mac. Did I explain it well enough for everybody?
And you had that in your bag.
And D-Mac, that's it too. And we're not going to spend a ton more time on it, but I just wanted to break it down for everybody. The Red Wings still, as they sit right now, $4.4 million in cap space for next year as well. Which I think they're probably about done, I would guess, for now. And then I think the goal is, when's that trade deadline? February?
Yep. Make the moves.
Then you may see, hey, Cardi B might grab the mic again and make money moves because he'll have it to spend.
That's all he makes.
It's true. He is an absolute robot with the salary cap. An absolute robot. And guys, going back to it again, this is why it's different. This is why it will work. It's not because I'm a Steve bot or I work with Darren and Darren's friends with Yzerman. I explain it to you all the time. I'm waiting for the rebuttal on the substance of it. There is none, because there can't be. Because how can you argue it? You can't. That's why the Lions are working right now. Draft capital, rookie contracts, cap space. That's why it's working. It's not a tough formula to figure out. The player evaluation's the hard part. So here we are.
Here we are.
Did I do a good enough job with that, D-Mac?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he just keeps layering and layering and layering my argument, the proof, and it's just hashtag why is it playing 1919? He keeps going. Puts them closer. Does this not put them more closer to the playoffs than further away by making this move?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Because it provides an element you didn't have before. D-Mac, what did I sit there and say other than win the face-off? What was my other thing? Score on the power play, for Christ's sake.
Right, and you look at it, and what you've added is you've added that veteran guy in the locker room to help out, Larkin's leadership. But it goes on the lines of what he did last year in adding Perron and Sherratt, right? And not having to pay.
It's another defenseman that's played in meaningful games, and you can't say you had that with Gustav Lindstrom, and you didn't have to give up much to get him. So there's no way you can categorize that trade as a loss.
You
got better.
And it's a win-win for Montreal, who's trying to do what Stevie's done in fourth-round draft picks.
They're shedding salary. The reason they do that is they're the Red Wings of 3 years ago. How the hell do we get out of this?
There it is.
You look around the room and you look at your books and you say, how the hell do we get out of this? You got to move salary. And guess what, guys? This is business 101. When you're distressed, you don't get full market value for everything. That's the way business works. D-Mac, if I wanted to sell you this pen and you had 2 pens, can I get $5 for this pen? No. If you have a contract with a sponsorship right now and you don't have a pen and you want this pen to sign that contract, could I get $5 for this pen then?
Yeah, you probably get 10. Pen drop.
That's it. That's all.
Yep.
It's business.
And it's always and a lot of it too is looking around. We will see this in transitioning into football, but we'll see this through training camps as rosters are being made and guys are being cut. That different teams will poach guys off of practice squads and different guys off of cut rosters in the NFL. Well, that's what a great GM does is he looks around and he sees who needs what and how can he help them out. So it's a win-win, right? You said that, Neal, all around. So that's part of it. You don't have to always it doesn't have to be you have to crush somebody. It doesn't have to be always uneven in a trade.
And look, if you want even a little more behind the curtain, and I don't know this, I don't text Steve Yzerman. I should.
He texts me, man.
Yeah,
it just blows my stuff up.
Yeah. I don't text Steve Yzerman, but here's my guess, right? Why the Red Wings were able to pull this off is I would imagine that Jeff Petry, with that skill, with that highly specialized skill, which is a pretty valuable skill, the reason the Red Wings were able to get him is because they could go to a place on salary retainment that maybe not a lot of other teams could.
That's exactly where it is.
That's my guess.
And Mikey, where would you put Petry even at his age? He's got that bomb shot. Am I off with the fact that that's exactly what they're bringing him in for?
No, I definitely. You could say our power play 2 struggled towards the end of the year. Obviously, the power play 1 improved, but they were still looking for that defenseman. They were switching out Wallman through there. So I think it's a perfect guy that can go in and teach these guys and improve a guy like Mo Sider, even though he does have the full package defensively. If there's one thing you could say he could possibly work on, it would be his shooting ability and just maturing on the power play with his chances. So
that's a great point. right? As we transition, probably going to talk about Teddy Bridgewater and what he's going to mean to this Lions team. Look at Jeff Petry more in the same way, but more of playing in a role. But it's in practice. I know this. Right? What made us so the grind line and all the like our lesser players so good? We practiced against the Hall of Famers all the time. We had the grind line, had to kill penalties against the Russian Five, never got to touch the puck. No wonder we were so mad when it was time to play the game. Right? And go out and play the way we did. But the fact is that you learn stuff. You sit around and guys talk and they get rapport, and maybe you pick something up here and there, and it's always a learning experience. So I like it even more and more.
No, absolutely. There was a funny one here in the WoodwardSports.com chat that I want to credit it to the proper person. I don't think I'm going to be able to. I will accept this criticism of the Jeff Petry trade. This one is acceptable if they say, yes, but the Petry trade is not as big as Big Mike Gentry being acquired by Big D Energy. So that's fair.
Oh, someone said that?
Yeah, that's fair.
Shout out to whoever that was.
Yeah.
Appreciate that.
That is
it
fair.
Was Mike's mom, but it was
yeah,
cool.
yeah. Whoever.
Thanks,
it doesn't
Mom.
matter.
Thanks, Mom.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Whoever it was.
Actually, it might have been your mom.
Yeah, could have been. But yeah, so that is it.
Well, hold on. Sorry. What's your stance on Johnny Cash?
I don't really have a stand. What does this pertain?
But you don't think he's overrated?
No, it's just
there. You go. See, he belongs.
Mutual stance. I'm not picking at any Johnny Cash takes.
There you go. See,
already. Just let it be. Just let it be.
See,
don't give me that look, Neal. Don't give me that look.
Neal, I thought there was no air in the sound booth. The way that Sam represented that he couldn't because all the blood would go to his head and he couldn't think straight. But Mikey obviously shows that there is oxygen in there. You don't, does it smell right?
He's sniffing me out. He's sniffing me out.
Hey. All right.
That's fair.
We're
That's
still,
fair.
We'll
get through this.
I know.
Day by day.
I know we will.
Day by day. Brick by brick.
Yeah,
I know we will.
brick by brick.
Brick by brick.
He knows it already. He's seen the
absolutely.
show.
When we get back, we do have to get into it. We have not been updated as to what, there has been no word from the Detroit Lions. For those of you just joining us, Chuck Brewer wants to know, Neal, where does BMG stand on Chris Osgood and Ben Wallace being in the Hall of Fame?
Yeah, they should be in the Hall of Fame. I think I've already said that before. Me and D-Mac. Chris Osgood, for sure. It's my guy. Ben Wallace, always loved him growing up, without a doubt. I was there when Ben Wallace got his jersey retired. So
there you go.
Love Ben Wallace.
You were in the building.
I was in the building.
Man, sometimes you just got to be the guy that replaces the guy.
Yeah. Hey, you know what? I love the baby face in the booth there. He is the eternal baby face.
Now I'm growing the beard out just because you said that.
I love it. You know where baby faces go? Right, guys?
I know. To get that haircut?
They get that haircut, but you know what also baby faces do? They like to drive. They like vehicles, not one but two vehicles. And how would you like to win not one but two vehicles of your choice? Maybe one for you, one for your wife, girlfriend, best bud. How do you do it? You get to Lady Jane's today for an award-winning haircut experience and automatically enter for your chance to win, courtesy of Les Stanford Buick GMC of Ferndale. Lady Jane's open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. It's wicked awesome.
Since the dawn of moving people, Chevrolet has led the way. The world of transportation is changing. At Feldman Chevrolet, we are leading the charge forward. With every electric vehicle, every mile traveled, one Feldman at a time. The company that puts more Chevys on Michigan roads is now the #1 name for Chevy electric vehicles.
Gabby is a college student struggling to study for her big exam. Then she discovered Syntron, a healthy way for her to stay awake and focus. Jennifer frequently has chaotic days like this until she gets online, orders some Syntron, and finds her groove. April visited her local grocery store, purchased a case of Syntron, and entered to win the Syntron 100K Vegas giveaway. Pick up your case of Syntron today at any Meijer location or visit drinksyntron.com/Vegas and enter for the 100K Vegas giveaway.
A ton of fun, a ton of sports, and a ton of man-meat. Welcome to the Woodward Heavyweights, live daily 5 to 7 p.m. on Woodward Sports.
When buying or selling real estate, flexibility and control over the sales process is key. Sellers, how would you like the freedom of canceling your listing agreement at any time for any reason with no penalty? That's exactly what Mark White & Associates offers. It's called the Minute-by-Minute Listing Agreement by Mark White & Associates. Try Mark White's risk-free minute-to-minute listing agreement today. Looking to buy or sell real estate? Visit markwhitesells.com or call 248-290-8242. That's 248-290-8242. markwhitesells.com, where flexibility meets success.
We are off and running. Big D Energy Woodward Sports Network on a Wednesday. So much, man, the first hour is almost over already. That is wild. Neal, Ruhl, Darren, McCarty, Spencer Raxter. We have gone into the trade market. BMG, Big Mike Gentry, our big offseason acquisition. Though there's not really an offseason. But that's our big acquisition, D-Mac. We had the money in the cap.
You are the Eisner, the big DM.
Absolutely.
That's why you wear the Keep Calm and Trust the Wiser plan. And actually, you're talking about yourself.
Yeah, 100%. Yes. That's it. But no. Hey, subscribe to the podcast. We talked about the Jeff Petry trade. I did my best to explain it to the people, working backwards on it. Word is from our people down there at Camp Broder saying he is back, just doing cuts and making moves and things like that. So he is back, so it doesn't look to be anything too serious. Jameson Williams, however, the right hamstring, he went down to the turf. He did go back to the locker room. Any other updates to any of that, Spenmo?
No updates on the injuries, no.
Okay, no update. Well, we're continuing to effort with our people. Matt Broder is out there on the scene from Woodward Sports Network. So, okay. I would say that when you look at it, because I do want to touch on it, this is preseason, right? We handle the what-ifs. Now, you already knew that Jameson Williams was going to be unavailable for 6 weeks. We knew that going in. I will say this, D-Mac. It does concern me, and I guess it shouldn't concern me anymore. It doesn't concern me more, D-Mac. It brings it to the light of, okay, so Amon-Ra, we've seen it before. You know, he's had an ankle before. We've dealt with it in the past. When you look at the depth chart at the wide receiver position, Khalif Raymond becomes more and more valuable by the day to me.
Hence why he got a 2-year extension.
It became more and more valuable to Brad Holmes as well by the day.
And Brad Holmes recognized that, because isn't that what good GMs do?
Right, absolutely. The thing that was concerning for me, I was listening to a podcast, Lions podcast, this morning when I was on the treadmill at Planet Fitness, live here from the Planet Fitness studios. Locked On Lions podcast had Jeff Risdon on. And Jeff Risdon was talking about kind of his interpretation of training camp and things like that. And there were a couple of routes he went with. One was not good. One I liked a lot. I'm going to save the one I liked a lot for the next segment. One he did not like as much. He said that Marvin Jones Jr. is struggling out there. He said, I know that. I believe the quote was something to the effect of, I know a lot of people are expecting the 2019 Marvin Jones to walk in here, and that doesn't look like that's going to be the case.
Well, how old is Marvin Jones now?
What is he?
He's got
30
in his 10th year, right?
33, 34,
okay,
something like that. 33.
A little long in the tooth, and obviously you hope you get a fraction. But did you expect to get a 2019 Marvin Jones?
No, I did not. But I think the people were kind of expecting that. And look, hope springs eternal. I understand that. So it now. When you think about it, like the Denzel Mims move, and there's a lot of, for me, and I like how Brad Holmes does this too, and it goes back to the Steve Yzerman thing. Like Brad Holmes, like what's his biggest criticism right now, other than the anti-Jameson crowd? You're not going to get the pitchforks out of their hands, but I would say other than that, D-Mac, people were probably most critical of the Trinity Benson trade, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Probably, right? That's kind of fair to say.
Yeah, for a fifth rounder.
For a fifth, like a pick swap, fifth rounder situation. For me, he did it again with Mims. Like that was the move on Mims. It's basically a crap table with a $5 minimum. He put the $5 minimum chip out there and rolled the dice.
Because of Risdon saying this about Marvin Jones Jr., does this shed more light on why the Mims?
I believe so.
Was made. Me too.
I believe so.
I think that explains, the pieces fall into place. Okay, because maybe they're hoping to get a combo between Mims and Jones, the production of one guy, right?
Yes.
The 2019, if they both can do it together. We used to take that tact, that was what was preached to Marty LaPointe and myself in '97 after Dino Cicerelli left. We had to make up for those goals on the right side, but wasn't expected on us to do it individually, but we could do it together, right? And I think together we scored like 35 or 40, so it works out.
No, and that is the way that it is. So, and look, I know that the DeAndre Hopkins camp, I see them. I know Spenmo, you were a big DeAndre Hopkins guy.
I was.
As well. When you looked at the money, that again, Brad Holmes does not make moves
Which
like
DeAndre
that.
Hopkins, is he anywhere?
No, he signed with Tennessee.
Tennessee, okay.
Yeah. Seemed to be kind of a lack of big-time interest in DeAndre Hopkins.
It really didn't. And sort of, wait to the last. So we will see, because isn't the knock against him that he's getting long in the tooth?
As well. That is the discussion point. A bit of the speed has diminished. And look, the truth teller's coming in about 2.5 weeks.
Amen.
On all this stuff for everybody. So, it is one of those things where, as I looked at the depth chart, Khalif Raymond, and look, I shouldn't do this because we're probably going to have the all-show fantasy football. You know what? I'll save that for later.
Okay, but there's a good
Go to
point.
Brandon Katz's page. I'll have my picks out there for you.
You look at Chase Cota and Drummond getting opportunities, right? We're talking about some of the younger guys too. So, that's the nice thing. Is it a next man up? Maybe we have one of these young guys that it's time that we get lucky, like other teams get lucky, and boom, you have somebody come out and produce. We got that with Amon-Ra St. Brown being a fourth rounder. Maybe one of these guys can step up. It's to me, the wide receiver, it's more of at the end of the season, what do they have as a group, right? How many touchdowns as a group? How many yards as a group? If they can do it by committee, then I'm not so worried about individuals. I know what I'm going to get out of Amon-Ra St. Brown, right? And the rest of them, you don't really understand because we have these concerns like this about Marvin Jones. But if they can all do it together and hit the number that we want, then I'm fine with it. Yeah,
and so that is it for me. It just tells me Khalif Raymond's going to be a big part of this stuff. That's kind of, and I don't think people recognize that. Like you look at the unofficial depth chart.
Did you not? But didn't you see the way that he was used? Did we remember the last part, half of the season or whatever like that? I think.
That room they do.
Right, exactly. Because Ben Johnson, he's more fit him in. To me, what I saw, my eyeball test was, and we saw it, that Josh Reynolds was Jared Goff's security blanket until it was passed over to Amon-Ra St. Brown. But Khalif Raymond is right there as a poor man's Amon-Ra St. Brown security blanket. You see the confidence in coming up. So the fact that Ben Johnson's used it, and it just, the writing on the wall is they re-signed him to 2 years.
Right.
They know how valuable he is.
Yeah, so, and again, he's going to be a big factor in this, and I don't know that the people fully grasp that yet. I still think everyone's kind of holding on to the Marvin Jones Jr. thing. But
don't you feel, Neal, that more of they don't care as long as somebody's getting it done?
Right.
It doesn't have to be Jones. Right now they expect it to be Jones, but maybe it's going to be somebody else, and then that's okay. Because the end result's the same.
And this could be true, too. Like Big Play Jay says, maybe Brad Holmes trusts his wide receiver room. No, and I think he really likes his wide receiver room, which is why, and I will say this, Spenmo, and I'll say this to the DeAndre Hopkins people out there. Because, and I haven't heard anybody bring it up this way, but DeAndre got, what, $6.5 million?
Yeah, I think so.
I'd have to look it up real quick, which I guess I could.
I got it.
You got it?
Yeah.
Okay. Because I think it has a capability to be more, depending on, like, there's clauses in there that, milestones he could reach or whatever for it to be more. I'll just
2-year, $26 million contract.
Yeah.
With the Titans.
Whoa.
How much is it?
$10 million guaranteed.
Yeah.
Average annual salary of 13.
I know. Thanks. Do you guys would you guys want that? I don't.
Yes.
See, I think that's it's too much, man.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
For me, Now,
and
again,
I think that plays to the point of made is maybe Brad Holmes likes his wide receiver room. He likes it more for what the value is he can get on the market.
Yeah. So yeah, the guaranteed to sign is $11 million. So see, theoretically, for practical purposes, it's a 1 year, $12 million deal with a parachute that they can get out of. There's 3 void years on the back of it, which is what you're allowed. That's the maximum amount of years that you're allowed to do it. So, it is one of those things where, for practical purposes, it's a 1 year, $11 million contract, which, when you go back at it and you compare it, and this is what's interesting about it, because the news today with Jameson Williams and Amon-Ra St. Brown, that's why it kind of comes to the forefront, because you just start spitballing it. You just start talking about it. When you look at what Khalif Raymond was in the market for, he's got essentially a 2-year, $8 million deal for practical purposes. So $4 million per. And you know how I work with that, Spenmo. Is Khalif Raymond a third of what DeAndre Hopkins will be?
Absolutely. I think.
I don't know.
A third?
Yeah, I don't know.
Come on.
I'm not talking about... I think you and I are differing on, like, DeAndre Hopkins. Like, do you still see him as, like, a 100-catch guy?
Yeah.
Okay, so, yeah, that's...
So a third of that's 33 catches.
Yeah, I mean, that's getting a little bit granular, I think. But I think
he's a third of the player.
I would agree with that. Yeah.
I mean, D-Hop's a baller, but you got to look who's throwing him the ball this year, especially in that whole offense in Tennessee.
Like, somebody brings it up great, the separation, that Raymond can get. And they're different receivers, right? He's a little water bug. But I think I'm with you, Neal, as far as this year with how Ben Johnson uses him, that he'll produce better than a third of what Hopkins does.
And we're going to see Spenmo. Yeah, we'll be out there and we'll see how it all shakes out. So, but again, too, I won't be critical. I won't be critical of it because that's how he rolls. That's how Brad Holmes operates.
Yep.
He's sticking to the game plan with what he does. So, it's just something I wanted to touch on because I know, like, there's 2 sides of it in this room, in these 4 walls right here with Spenmo and I and where we stand. We're civil about it, and we'll see. There'll be a couple of text messages as the season goes on, Spenmo, I'm sure.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, there'll be a little jawing, a little talking. I would hope that there is. Both ways. I would want there to be. No question about it. All right, Wednesday, everybody. How'd you like to see famous athletes like Jim Harbaugh, Darren McCarty, and Braylon Edwards play golf with average Joes? Thanks to Randy Wise Automotive and Woodward Sports, you'll be able to do just that. It's the Randy Wise Automotive Team Celebrity Golf Tour. With your next automotive purchase, make the wise choice. Get into any Randy Wise Automotive dealership to purchase your next car. Go to the Woodward Sports YouTube channel. The Jim Harbaugh episode is up right now. Sam Flannel's probably in the back right now watching it for the 900th time. Can't get enough of Harbaugh swinging the driver out there on the golf course. Check it out at the Woodward Sports YouTube channel. It's a Randy Wise Automotive Team Celebrity Golf Tour.
Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on Shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Woodward Golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
The sports marketing agency would not be who we are without great community partners like Higuera Health and Carol Zuniga.
It's an awesome opportunity to partner with your organization. Higuera Health is a comprehensive behavioral health organization. We serve children through older adults with mental health, substance use, and developmental disabilities across Western Wayne counties, and really excited to now be in downriver communities as well. Give us a call at 734-458-4601.
We are the network for Detroit by Detroiters. Welcome to the Woodward Sports Network. 4, 3, 2, 1. How would you like to
Win a 100K Vegas getaway. Take the closest friends you have and live it up in the city that never sleeps.
Yes.
It's the Cintron Energy. Drink it and live it. Purchase a 24-pack today and enter to win the 100K Vegas getaway at drinkcintron.com/Vegas and buy Cintron at your local Meijer store. Cintron, the healthier energy drink with great taste and the choice of people who desire to look good, feel great, and be the best version of themselves. It's drinkcintron.com/Vegas where you can go to sign up and try to earn your spot at the Vegas 100K getaway.
Second hour of the show, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network. Neal Ruhl, Darren McCarty, Spencer Raxter here in the building. Big Mike Gentry, Parker Not Meadows subbing in right now. So Parker getting some spin as well. I guess it's not like an open tryout, right? BMG and Parker Meadows.
No, this is his little training session because he's doing the heavyweights in the future.
Oh man,
Yeah, so
man, heavyweights making moves in the free agency market.
Yeah, I guess.
Damn.
Nobody tells me anything.
Welcome to the play. That's it, Spenny. That's how you know you're a star. They only do that to stars. You need to know.
Yeah, you need to know. But Parker Not Meadows here with us as well. Parker, welcome in, man.
It's great to be back, man. Started training with Spenny here, and now I'm back. Always got to go back down to where I was.
I know, right? Before you got out of here to go to the 2 to 4 show, right? Yeah, I know that we're always a training ground. Mistakes are allowed here. Not on the 2 to 4 show, right?
No, not allowed.
Yeah. What would happen? What would Matt say to you if you made a mistake in 2 to 4?
Well, yeah, I think we've already seen what happens.
I think we have. You're right.
Don't worry, Parker. This is a safe space.
This is a safe space. No, you know what? I decided I'm changing that.
Oh, yeah.
Remember? I said I'm going to be a diva.
Yeah, that's true.
Parker, you're in that room. If you F anything up, you are out.
Oh, trust me.
You are out.
Hands off the boards.
All right. There you go. That's what I like to see. No, but hey, welcome. If only for training purposes.
Who is Parker Brown, really?
Dude, don't even bring that up. So JB yesterday made a graphic with me and Kyle Rittenhouse next to each other, and it was,
oh my God.
And it said, "Who really is Parker Brown?" And dude, the chat was going crazy, and I sent it to Easy, and oh, dude,
We had it up on the back wall for a first segment.
It was a great day. It was a great day for me.
I bet. Yeah, you always want to be comp to that guy. No question. I won't do that to you here.
Oh, please
His
don't.
TikTok name is 4 Doors More Horse. I mean,
4 Doors More Horse. I love it.
That's Kyle Rittenhouse's TikTok.
Oh my God.
Oh, I thought it was Parker Not Meadows
Yeah,
TikTok.
Parker
name.
Not Meadows. That's it's confused. See, you better.
Well, I've never seen them in the same room at the same time.
That is
all I'm
fair.
saying.
That is fair.
That's true, I guess. WoodwardSports.com, chat thread, subscribe to the Woodward Sports YouTube channel. Jump into there, get your thoughts, and subscribe to the Big D Energy podcast. iTunes, Spotify, Spreaker, wherever you get those. Detroit Dabber 313. For Jim Harbaugh's golf outing, did they have cheeseburgers at the turn? Only if there were recruits. Only if there were recruits. Dab, you know what's funny about that? I don't care about that at all. At all. I don't care about that. And also, too, Spenmo, I'll say this. For the people that say I hate Michigan, notice when they started getting to the playoff regularly.
Yeah.
When did it start?
After they started doing some grimy shit.
I love it.
That's what you got to do.
That's what you got to do, D-Mac.
Swimming in those waters.
You know what? You guys all hate me.
Are you in or are you in the way?
All you Michigan fans hate me, but you hate it even more that I'm right. And I've been right since I stepped behind this microphone. I've been right about that. When you say F it and you don't care about that stuff, that's when you start to win. It's not a coincidence. It's not a coincidence. So good. You know what? Good for Jim Harbaugh. Don't say. You know what the NCAA is doing with all this, right? It's the old ego power play.
Mm-hmm.
Say you cheated, and Jim's on an ego power play. I'm not saying it. Then don't say it. You win those games 100-0 combined.
I heard it got dropped. The suspension got dropped.
Yeah, but then I heard that there were grounds that were associated with that he had to come out and admit guilt, stuff like that, and he's saying no, that he won't do that. Then the negotiations broke down. Whatever. Just say okay, cool. I'm out 4 games. Whatever. I'm gonna go make another episode of the Randy Wise Automotive Team Celebrity Golf Tour on Saturday from 12 to 3. That's what I would do. Because I don't care. I care about beating Georgia. That's what I care about. The Georgia countdown clock. Now, if you're going to do the, quote, Georgia countdown clock, then guess what you got to do at the end, D-Mac?
What?
You got to beat Georgia.
There you go.
You know what I'm saying? You're already in the playoff.
That's what we're down to.
Yep. You're already in the playoff. So it's natty or bust. That's it. That's all. That's it. Parker, maybe Kyle Meadows. No.
Not this again.
Let me see if the graphics still in here.
Michael Boyd. Nah, Neal, you hate Michigan, but I love you for it. No, I'm right. What's been the talking point on it, D-Mac? I expect more out of Michigan.
No, yeah, then Michigan fans expect out of their own team.
Yeah.
That's why you're so critical, because you actually care because you think that they could get to that step. And now that we've seen them blurring the lines like all the other teams that are successful, me too, because you're swimming in those waters.
I do. I love it. Can we flash pull that, Spenmo?
What, this?
No, we're not going to flash pull that one. Jesus Christ, it is.
It's terrible, bro. It's terrible.
You may want to grow a beard or something, dude.
That's why I'm trying. I'm trying.
Or grow your hair
Get
out.
a face tattoo like Tyson or something.
Yeah.
For Parker, you may want to do something. I'm trying to be a friend.
The worst part is I've been to Kenosha. That's the worst part.
Are you big in Kenosha?
I used to swim there.
Yeah, was it a safe haven for you?
No.
Oh.
No.
Okay, I'm just asking. Now, I respect the Miller High Life t-shirt.
Yes.
Because I've been known to drop a lime in a Miller High Life. Class it up. But then I got money, and I didn't, and then I stopped. Can we show that one more time?
That's so savage.
Oh, no.
It's a safe space.
It doesn't
Don't
feel like
ever
a safe
wear
space,
a tie,
man.
bro. Don't ever wear a tie ever again.
Hey, at least I have glasses, you know? I got something going for me.
All right.
Oh, that's good stuff.
Okay.
Oh, that's good stuff.
And then there's some usual suspects. This guy's Parker's an American hero. We're not going down that route. We don't do that. We're not doing that. Yeah, but that's it. T-Roll Bigums, no way in hell. Michigan beats Georgia. That's the stage in the game they're at, though, D-Mac.
No,
that's where they're at.
But haven't we been there? Wasn't that the way it was supposed to be last year? Except TCU got in the way and looked ahead. They gotta go compete and win a natty because you nail it all the time, Neal. Their path there is already predetermined. The path to the playoffs is predetermined.
Yeah, they're in already. They can lose to Ohio State and they're in. They're in already.
So I guess will it make a big difference when the playoffs expands? The number of playoff teams expands. Will it be a different then?
Different how?
Just because there's more teams in the fight, right? So you're still gonna, but you're gonna have to play another game.
You just rerun your schedule like this again and again and again.
I know, but when the playoffs come around, right? I guess what I'm trying to say, and it really it's a reflection on the rest of college football,
right?
Right, that the fact that it can happen this way. What I'm saying is that when they expand to the playoffs and there's more teams in the dance, then more things can happen. It's going to be harder.
Chris says, Sean Belizean says it's not natty or bust, and he's one of the biggest Sparty fans out there. The SEC is different. 3 straight Big Ten championships would be an accomplishment. Not anymore, Chris. The game's moved past that. The goal is not to be a fine regional team.
Where's your ceiling at? Where's your ranking of ceiling? And that's the problem. That's the things where it goes back to you expect more out of what Michigan fans expect. They only expect that. They'll be happy with that. But you're saying no. You shouldn't be happy with that. You should be happy with owning a national championship and beating an SEC team.
Ryan Newman.
Not scared. Yeah. Stop not scared. Yeah, but that's why.
Stop not scared.
See, that's why we're talking about the Lions with that, not the Wolverines right now.
Ryan Newman says, if Michigan loses to Ohio State but wins a national title, will I be able to enjoy that as a Michigan fan? Yeah, because that's what you're playing for, Ryan. You're not playing to win the Big Ten anymore. The stakes have changed, man.
Unless, again, he's telling you if that's your Super Bowl is beating Ohio State, because that's the thing, Neal. You expect more because there's more out there in a higher level, but people, it seems, you're getting the feedback to Michigan fans is that as long as they beat Ohio State.
That's all they care about. I'll never understand it.
That's their national championship. That's what they're telling you. Because you know what? It's the fact that scared or they don't expect that they'll ever be that good to beat an SEC team. So that's where they have to set their sights on. It's like, hey, let me get back to the girl at the bar analogy, right? If you don't have the confidence to walk up to the 10, what are you going to, you're
never going to get a 10.
Right.
Like, that's it. That is great. That's what Michigan fans are. They're a dude at the club that won't go talk to the 10. 7
or 8, maybe, dude, you see I was talking to that 9? But no, don't go for the 10 because you don't want to. Because why, Neal? Because you don't want to be shot down. You're afraid of failure instead of taking it as a challenge, and the only way out is through.
That's true, man. That is a great analogy. Ryan Newby says, I agree. It's just an interesting dynamic. Mike G, got to beat the Buckeyes just because it's the evil empire and they hate all Michiganders, period. You want the take? Here's the take everybody wants. Guess what, guys? Michigan, Ohio State does not matter in the national scheme anymore. It matters for your television contract for the Big Ten because everybody will watch it. But guess what, guys? It doesn't matter anymore. And here's why it doesn't matter to Michigan fans. You can lose to Ohio State and still win the national title. So that tells me it doesn't matter. I know you're all going to lose your mind right now, and everyone's going to go crazy, but you can lose to Ohio State and still win the national title. And guess what? If you beat Ohio State and don't win the national title, that is less than losing to Ohio State and winning the national title. It just is. I know that you're pre-programmed to think that. I know your Lord and Savior, Bo Schembechler, always talked about that. I get it. But guess what? In today's day and age, and we're only going further in that direction with the expanded playoff. We're only going to continue to emphasize it more. It's all that matters. Michigan, Ohio State, as of today, does not matter anymore. And guess what? As of last year, it didn't matter anymore. You know how I know? Ohio State was a field goal away from winning the national title, and they lost to you guys. And I said it then. I said Ohio State can lose to you guys and still go to the playoff. And Spemel, what did they all say?
No.
That I was laughed at by you people. Mocked and scorned. And in the end, I was right. And I'm right on this, too. It matters maybe to you, but nationally and in the grand scheme of college football, it does not matter. And if you are the leaders in best, if you're the champions of the West, then you win the national title. The Ohio State thing does not matter at all. Sorry, D-Mac. And you know it's true. You know that's true.
It's like The Rock said, it doesn't matter what you think. But you know what does matter, Neal? Right?
I know what matters.
Matters. Experience true meaning of exceptional cannabis products with Dispo Dispensary. Indulge in the finest selection of cannabis curated with care. With now over 12 locations, including their new location now open in Whitmore Lake. Dispo is never far away. Visit disposhops.com today and unlock a world of endless possibilities in the realm of cannabis. That is disposhops.com, your local cannabis plug.
Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Woodward golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids, all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
Introducing the Planet Fitness Guide to getting that post-workout glow. Step 1. What's your why? More epic energy? Better sleep? Blow off steam? Step 2. Join Planet Fitness for just $10 a month and get moving in our clean and spacious clubs. Step 3. Bask in that post-workout glow. Join Planet Fitness today for just $10 a month.
Join today at any of the 50-plus Detroit area locations.
It's the Randy Wise Celebrity Golf Tour.
You're a good coach, Tim. Oh, great shot.
Some of the biggest names in Michigan sports. and some, well, not so much.
Oh, yeah, baby. Oh, yeah, baby.
Watch episodes at woodwardsports.com.
Can't get enough Woodward Sports content? Head over to woodwardsports.com right now for up-to-date sports articles and great entertainment news. We have the best writers, bloggers, and coverage all at your fingertips. Head to woodwardsports.com right now to experience all Woodward Sports has to offer.
Back at it, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network, Neal, Ruhl, Darren, McCarty. Of course, you have Spencer Raxter and our guy BMG, Big Mike Gentry, Parker, not Meadows, certainly not Rittenhouse here in the booth as well. LFG says, all that matters is defeating OSU, LOL. Fletch lives daily. Neal was scorned. Chuck Brewer, Neal, you're too much of a cut and dry black and white. The game matters. So does the Iron Bowl and many other non-championship games. No, they do not. If you can still get in and still win the national championship, if you lose them, they do not matter. What am I missing something, Spencer?
No.
Spencer, would you take a loss to Ohio State and Michigan every year for the next 5 years, but win the national title the next 5 years?
1,000%.
What am I missing? Help me, Spencer. Somebody help me. D-Mac, help me. Help me understand this line of thinking.
No, I'm too busy thanking everybody for wishing me
Oh,
condolences.
okay.
Because that's a joke of a question, right? If you're trying to be the best, and I think you made up a good. I want to address something that you said. Nationally, Ohio State and Michigan isn't what it has been in the past as far as. It's only like, yes, what are they always viewed as 3, 4, 5, 6, even though Michigan's number 2 in the rankings, but nobody takes them serious to be a contender. I know Ohio State won once, but really looked at nationally, we talked about this on the golf course the other day, the way that the SEC, you know, and I love those conversations because people don't really understand. What would they say? What would the teams in the SEC, what would your Texas Tech, Mississippi State, you know, all these say about even their biggest rival? Would they be willing to lose to their rival every year but win the national championship? What would they say?
Hell yeah.
Yeah, because that's all they care about.
But what I'm saying, even as much you told me, right, and I'm not going to bring up his name.
Yes.
But allegedly.
I will. I want to get this right.
Allegedly, the fan, like you said that one of your buddies, if he was in a car and there was no retribution for running over a whole pack of Mississippi.
Okay, so I'll tell the story. I have a very good buddy. I have a very good buddy that I worked with for a while at Oakland that went to Mississippi State. They hate Mississippi. You think you hate Ohio State? They hate each other down there. Hate each other. And to the point where he said it's the biggest thing that happened to him this year, that the Michael Orr story came out, that it's all fake. He said, I've been saying this for years. Oh, I've been on this for over a decade. It's finally public. If I were a billionaire, I would finance a sequel to this movie with the largest marketing budget in the history of cinema. He says, regardless of the why, I'm going to laugh until I cry at least a dozen times about this. I feel bad for Orr, but also F him and anyone that went to, played for, or cheers for Ole Miss. I am of the opinion that if he were driving a car and there were a crowd of Mississippi fans and there was going to be no legal retribution, he would drive the car into that group of Mississippi fans. And whatever happens, happens.
But what would he say?
He would say, I'll take the national championship 100 times out of 100. And you guys are going through your talking points right now, which is funny to me. Danny Raxter, though, Mr. Raxter says, as a lifelong Michigan fan, we've owned Ohio State the past 2 seasons. It's time to take the next step. Props to your dad. He's seen some things. He drinks scotch. He's more of a man than I am. He's more weathered than I am. He's more seasoned than I am. Yeah. But props to him for that. Lorena Rios. Neal, here's the talking points. Neal, how about Sparty? All that matters is if Michigan State wins a national title. Spenmo, would you lose to Michigan for the next 20 years to win the national title just this year?
Yes.
Next 50 years?
Yes.
I could go on would you lose in perpetuity to win the national title this year?
Yes.
He's got that look on his face again, too. Like he can't even believe this is a question. And again, everyone's just going down there in the talking points and things like that. And WoodwardSports.com chat thread, Peaceful Tim says, spoken like a native Ohio guy, Neal. I hate Ohio.
Yeah, how can you say that to a Michigan born and bred?
Yeah, Ohio is the Larry Bird of states to me. I hate them.
You hate Larry Bird?
But damn it, I respect their roads.
Okay. Oh, yeah.
They have good roads.
Yeah,
they have good roads, man.
Find new roads.
It's wild how you can have like a freeway and then there's just like a side street that just cuts across the freeway. Like that's always been wild to me. But there ain't no bumps on that freeway.
Nope.
So I am mad. And even the line, as soon as you cross the line, you're reminded of it.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like a stepchild when I drive right across that border.
Yeah.
And then conversely when I drive back across that border. Like if you were us, like wouldn't you at least make like the first 10 miles? Like even if I couldn't afford it in a budget, I would find a way to make the first 10 miles into Michigan be nice.
That'd be cool.
For a few miles anyway.
Yeah, for at least 2 miles, whatever. I would not have it be the line where it's nice and then it turns into the surface of the moon.
See, 80% of people agree that they'd rather lose to OSU and win into the playoffs.
So the majority is silent.
It's the loud minority.
Okay. That makes me feel better.
It makes sense.
Cody Engel, Michigan fans are scared to set the national championship expectation. I agree with that.
Scared.
Well, roasted.
Yeah, I agree with that 1,000%. So I don't get it. Bob M says, I don't think one championship is equal to losing to Ohio State forever, though. Maybe one championship per 10 years. Okay. Hey, at least you're having discourse. Like, he's having dialogue. Yeah. So I respect that. He's not on the Spenmo plan. We'll do it for 100 years for one national title.
Yeah. It's like the Lions. If you told me the Lions would win the Super Bowl this year and go 0-16 the next 5 years, I'm taking it.
100%.
100%.
Yeah.
Because I've done it.
Yeah. Been there.
I've been there. And that, you know what that reminded me? There was a preseason topic that I wanted to get into.
Hey, been there. Wasn't that bad. You know, just a little scab. We can do it. But we're going to enjoy the victory, right, Spenny?
Yep.
Yeah. So, and
make it a 5-year celebration.
Oh, yeah.
It will be. But I didn't plan for that to happen that way. That works me up, man. For people to say
Grind
that, D-Mac.
his gears.
And D-Mac, you know who solidified this in my mind or reinforced it? Was you. Talking, and maybe it's different because you play pro sports, but college sports are pro sports now. They've been pro sports.
Right. Mm-hmm. What did I say that?
Just like the way you talk about it, the way, because I think I may have relayed the Michigan situation to beating Colorado, but not winning the cup.
Right. So that's the whole thing and it leads me back to when I talk about March 26 and 97 or whatever. Yeah, we had to get the revenge, right? But the bigger point was beating them because we hadn't beaten them all year, even since they beat us out the year before, right? So that was more important. But we had to get through because of the psyche, because we knew we had to get through them in the playoffs. We couldn't go into the playoffs having to play them, have not beaten them, right? That's where the psyche flips. So, yeah, it doesn't matter. You can take losses along the way. Aren't we talking about, lose the battle, win the war?
Yes.
That's exactly what we're talking about. Lose the battle, win the war.
So that's even more simplistic.
Yeah.
That's a cliche. It's so true, it's a cliche.
I'm good at those.
Dada says in the WoodwardSports.com chat thread, this is wild that people would even say beating Ohio State is better than taking a national title. Wow, I'm with you. I'm at a loss for words. Parker Not Meadows, where are you at with this?
What, the fact that people would take...
beating Ohio State over a national title?
I would take the national title. Like, that's just... It's a trophy that you last forever, and an Ohio State win is just It's just that season. They could beat you next year and the year after that.
I'm sorry. Can while you're on the stand here, Parker, I'm not sure of your allegiance. Is your allegiance to Michigan or State? Where do you stand?
Now, let me give you my best guess. You are on loan from Ermanni and Edwards. Let's think about this like a European soccer thing right now. You're on loan from Ermanni and Edwards. You have to be a Michigan fan.
So,
or you're not
I'm one
allowed.
I'm one of the weird bunch. I'm a Michigan State basketball fan. I'm a Michigan football fan. Michigan State basketball is my thing, but Michigan football is my thing.
Boo.
You know what? I can't hate the man.
You nailed it.
Tom Izzo's a legend. You can't hate it.
You're on loan from Ermanni and Edwards.
Yeah. That's good for your career in these four walls here, I guess. That's a smart play, Parker.
Boo.
You exercise him from the Michigan State basketball fan base, don't you?
Yeah.
Oh, you don't accept it?
No.
Oh, wow. Tough. Hey, those his own kids are tough.
Everybody has their opinions.
Boo,
Everybody has.
boo,
Spenny, you can have your opinion, man. You can have your opinion.
Boo,
boo you. Boo you. Boo you.
Hey, easy, Spenmo. Be easy on this guy.
This is a safe space, remember?
Yeah.
This is a safe space.
Spenmo, just be easy with this guy.
That's fair.
All right?
Yeah, we don't want him reporting back to the Four Show.
No, it's not even that. We just don't know what he's about.
Oh, yeah, true.
Easy guy.
I don't want to get too close to him or
get too far away.
Yeah, or get too far away.
But Parker, just to kind of suck back up to you for a minute, Harder says that you're right. Winning a national championship is forever. Beating your rival is for 1 year.
Exactly. Didn't you just say the same thing?
Yeah.
Some reaction to Parker, not Meadows. Be Ruthless 81. You can't like Michigan and Michigan State.
Who says I can't?
Dat Boy Roy 2.0. You can't pick and choose. Big Play Jay says, "Oh, he's one of those."
Man, it's my life. I can do whatever I want.
The thing is, I can do it because I'm Canadian, so we don't know any better. So it's acceptable for us. I don't see a problem with it, bud. Stick to your guns.
Right. Right. I don't even think D-Mac did that one on purpose. Rack says, "Careful, Spenny." Rack says, "Careful, Spenny. Don't make them feel threatened."
All right.
All right, that's it. Where did you go to school, Parker, not Meadows?
I went to Olivet College.
Olivet. All right, stand up.
Not booing Olivet.
Near
just booing
MSU, so.
Okay. Where were we? Oh, yeah, Strawberry Fest. Time's running out, everybody. Strawberry Fest is at Big Boy, but time is running out as we said. Get in there for breakfast. Strawberry hotcakes. Maybe a mouth-watering red velvet waffle, perhaps. Not a breakfast person? That's cool. Strawberry bacon chicken wrap. I've had it. It slaps. Or a refreshing summer splash salad. Don't forget dessert. That's the point of all this. The OG strawberry pie invented the Strawberry Fest. If you're more designer like D-Mac, deep fried vanilla Oreos, those are the play.
Yeah.
Strawberry hot fudge cake.
Oh, even better.
All of it is there for D-Mac at Strawberry Fest. Get to your local Big Boy. Hurry up, quicker. Walk into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men for an award-winning haircut experience and automatically enter for your chance to win not one, but 2 vehicles of your choice, courtesy of Les Stanford Buick GMC of Ferndale. That's right, 2 cars, one for you, one for your wife, your girlfriend, or your best bud. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime, sign in, sit down, watch your favorite team play, and before you know it, your hair will be game ready. Let one of our talented, award-winning stylists make you look handsome and clean. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
Hey, this is Mr. Kearney, Chief Academic Officer at Academy of Warren. I want to welcome you to the brand new field house. The state-of-the-art facility has a regulation basketball court, volleyball court, soccer field. It can be used for 7-on-7 football. Our K-8 academic features AM, PM, latchkey, small classroom sizes, Learning Street, futuristic media center, free breakfast and lunch, Houghton Mifflin curriculum, academic games, K-8 athletics, and more. Enroll today at academywarren.net.
Your childhood may be over, but playtime, it is not. You saw me flying around on that in the commercial earlier in the show. That's Outdoor Equipment Company. It's your source for outdoor power equipment, sales, service, and parts, carrying top brands such as Bad Boy, Ellis Tractor, Steel, and more. Servicing the Great Lakes region with locations in Metro Detroit and Greater Lansing. For more information, visit them at OutdoorEquipCo.com. Outdoor Equip Co., your power equipment playground.
Back at it, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network. Neal, Ruhl, Darren, McCarty, Spencer Raxter here in the house as well. Parker Not Meadows here on the ones and twos. The Michigan football fan and Michigan State basketball fan. And what's more than that, he thinks nothing's wrong with that. But, you know, whatever. Hey, do what you want. Parker, do you, man.
My opinion's not changing, man. Opinion's not changing.
Yes. Hey, you're free in this country.
Yeah. Wow.
You're absolutely free.
You're free to stand your ground on those takes.
Yes, you are.
This is not going to end in any time, is it?
Yeah. I mean, there's, a lot of the amendments in the Constitution guarantee your freedoms, Parker. Just remember that. All right.
Great time.
It is a great time. Earlier, DMAC, I talked about Jeff Risdon, and he was on the Locked On Lions podcast, and I was listening to that this morning while I was getting my run in at Planet Fitness. We're here in the Planet Fitness studios, by the way. But he said another thing. I talked about the negative before about, he talked about Marvin Jones Jr., and it wasn't going well in training camp so far. Oh, by the way, too, we have no new updates, but for those of you just joining the show, Amon-Ra St. Brown tweaked an ankle, emphasis on tweaked, was able to put the pads back on, do some cutting, things like that, so it doesn't seem like it's that bad. Jamison Williams went down to the turf. Right hamstring seems to be what people are talking about. If we get more updates, we certainly will pass those along. But I talked about Jeff Risdon, and he brought up C.J. Gardner-Johnson. And he brought up the fact that the thing he liked most about him, and this, I know this, right? He talked about his energy. We know this, D-Mac. Energy guy, all that kind of stuff. But he made an interesting comp to C.J. Gardner-Johnson and what he's provided that he hasn't seen since Ndamukong Suh. And I was like, oh, really? See? This is a great tease, isn't it, D-Mac? He said what he's willing to do is get up in teammates' face with the trash talk and hold them accountable and not just talk about it, be about it. ...
That's what you need, number one, is that if you're a talker and you're a trash talker and whatever, you better be able to lug the mail behind it, because it's one thing to say it, but you got to bring it twice. And that's how you get that respect, and that's some of the dog mentality, right? Because a lot of guys have that, but you need that vocal, verbal guy because that sort of triggers everybody else, right? Where you don't need Hutch to do that, but you need Hutch's play to relate to C.J. Gardner-Johnson's mouth. Now, that's the best thing, right? And as I'm reading in the chat thread, people saying that he's thumping guys out there in the mixed practice with the Jaguars and stuff like this, but he's going to talk about it, and then he's going to be about it. And that's what you want, especially where's the position? The position of need from last year. So, boom, you've plugged it. You not only plugged it something better, you've also, added somebody that you need to be. Doesn't every great team have that sort of pot stirrer in there?
Right, and
especially
that's,
on defense.
But to hear him say that, though, and I wonder how the people would receive the name.
The comparable to Sue. Now, the way after you said that, to listen and say the way he would get into people's faces and be accountable, be about it. He wasn't talking selfishly. He was talking in that sort of make the team better way.
Right. Well, and that's kind of how Sue got mislabeled, I think, to some degree.
Well, Sue also did some selfish stuff. Personal foul stuff. Some things stepping and, things across the line, so to speak. That put your
my
team.
thing with it was I would prefer to lean more that way than lean more the other way, though. You know what I'm saying?
Yes. No.
You know what I'm saying.
No, but he did. But here's what C.J. Gardner-Johnson, and I think where the comparison is, he's able to push it to the line, right, and not over the line.
Well, we'll see.
No,
but I don't mind skirting that line here and there.
No, I don't mind it if it brings out the best in everybody else, because sometimes you got to be the one to punch people in the face or slap them or to do that, so that's one of your other guys doesn't have to do it, and you become the bad guy. So if he's got to become but it's also too, there's difference, Neal, because is your motivation, intention selfish, personal, or is it team-oriented? And you can see that.
Mm-hmm.
You can see that. So that's the way. That would be my only criticism is didn't we think that like Sue would go rogue a little bit sometimes? Or he could go rogue.
Yeah, and I told you guys the story, right? One of my friends worked with the Lions for a very, very long time and was there, obviously, when Sue was there. And he talked about the stories of they would have to stop doing drills because Sue was dominating everybody to the point where he would move offensive linemen with violence out of the way. So then the coaching staff would say, all right, we're going to switch this drill up right now. Like, he dominated to that point. And then he let people know he was an animal out there on the field. And I love that. I love hearing that about C.J. Gardner-Johnson. I love that. That might give some people some pause. But to say C.J. Gardner-Johnson reminds me of Ndamukong Suh with the way that he dominates people, lets them know about it, and then expects you to get back at him, but you can't because he won't allow it. Because, D-Mac, when was the last time this team was close to this? When Ndamukong Suh was here. Love him or hate him. That's the last time that this team was close to this, right? Where they had a playoff win snatched from them.
Here's my whole thing, right? When you talk about Ndamukong Suh, I think selfish individual, more like self-serving. When you think C.J. Gardner-Johnson, both have a dog in them, right? We want guys with the dog in them, but more team dog than it is an individual dog. Am I wrong getting the vibe of like Sue's out for his own? Like when it came down to it, he was leaving for the money. He was always a gun for hire. C.J. Gardner-Johnson isn't a gun for hire. He's got that dog, but it's about all the dogs around him and making everybody else better. Am I wrong with getting that vibe on what the difference is in the two dogs that they are?
No, I mean we'll see, right? Like we'll see if he has a great year and then goes back into free agency next year. Then you'll see that. You know what I'm saying?
No, that doesn't even But regardless, Neal. No, I guess you're missing my point. Sue was here, but he was never really here. Johnson's here for even if it's this year, and I don't care if he goes off and gets money. It's not about that, but he's committed for this year to making this team better. Like does anybody not feel like he's an integral and a big part of this team, and he's adhered? Anybody doesn't know, I think he gave to one of the football programs downtown like $2,400, from his chair. Like he's invested in the community. That's what I'm saying. So it's not about if he goes for bigger money or whatever like this. It means that is he here bringing his dog to this team to make all the rest of these Lions, for lack of a term, better dogs. He's a team guy. I guess at the bottom line, C.J. Gardner-Johnson seems to be like this is real, but he's going to make guys around him better because he is that dog. Team dog, not an individual dog.
Yeah, and my point was I like to see that.
You like dogs, bro.
Yeah, like I like to see dogs. That. And you do. And that is something, when I heard that too, I started thinking back to it, right? Like even last year with the Lions, and obviously they got it together and stuff like that. But did they have that guy that said, I'm not taking any shit from anybody out here right now, and I don't give a shit who it is? Did they have that? Did they have that? For real?
No.
You see what I'm saying?
No, but
they haven't had it in a decade.
But I get it. But do you understand? It also comes in different forms, right? Yes, you haven't seen it since then. But what I'm saying is this one's better because it's team-oriented dog instead of individual dog. And yes, if I'm letting my personal feelings, I'm not a big fan of Ndamukong Suh because not the performer and the champion and what he does on the field. It's the person.
Right. And that admittedly, like that's something I'm a little more disconnected to than you are. Like
right.
that's how we operate.
No, because I've had personal experience. So yes. I mean, I'm entitled to that. But that doesn't skewer it where CJ, it just seems to me is that it's everything you want. Now listen, would you take the Sue if you didn't have the yes, because you need dogs. But this one seems to be more family friendly.
And somebody made a great catch here. Chuck Brewer says he's Sewell to a point, Neal. And yes, you guys know that is why I am maybe more of a Sewell guy than most are.
So would you compare the dog in Sewell right? So and Gardner Johnson, there's the comparable dogs.
Yes, absolutely. And I'm here for it. To where, again, I'll go back to it. When Aaron Donald thinks that he's going to step over there and punk,
that's what I'm saying.
Penei Sewell will say, nah, bro. Micah Parsons in a phone booth. Nick Bosa, nah, bro. I respect you like you're a great player, but I'm him, bro.
Yeah, that's your guard dog. That's your guardian alarm guard dog right there.
No, absolutely. He's like the ultimate insurance policy, isn't he?
No, he is. And you know what? If now that summer's here, it's important to make sure that you are properly covered. Doesn't matter what party you have. Maybe you're out at the pool, maybe you're out at the lake, or just a group of people enjoying whatever it is. Know that your liability exposure increases significantly in the summertime. So let Swiss Insurance Group review your coverage and make sure you're protected from an unexpected loss. Check us out at SwissINS.com or call Mark today, 248-800-4177. Tell him Big D Energy, we sent you.
Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Woodward golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids, all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
By now you know me, Christina Gennari, as the obvious choice in real estate. And you know my website, soldchristina.com, as your #1 resource for buying or selling your home. Myself, along with my amazing staff, pride ourselves on making your home buying and selling experience a relaxing and easy one. Come see why we are the obvious choice. Christina Gennari at soldchristina.com, the obvious choice in real estate.
Can't get enough Woodward Sports content? Head over to woodwardsports.com right now for up-to-date sports articles and great entertainment news. We have the best writers, bloggers, and coverage all at your fingertips. Head to woodwardsports.com right now to experience all Woodward Sports has to offer.
Coming on the stretch here, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network, Neal, Ruhl, Darren, McCarty, Parker Knott, Meadows, and of course Spencer Rackster here in the house as well. Dan Wood in the WoodwardSports.com chat thread. Subscribe to the Woodward Sports YouTube channel, and you can jump in and have messages like Dan Wood. You don't get those silky smooth segues to breaks on the higher tech-supported Final Word show. Do you, Parker? You're there.
Hey, I mean, mouth is shut. Mouth is shut.
Parker. The final word.
Yeah.
Is there extra that goes into the final word? Do they do more for the final word than this show, Parker?
I mean, I don't personally feel like it. That's just my thing. I feel like it's about the same. And of course.
Okay. I was just asking. Just wanted to see where you were at with it. By the way, Jeff Iafrate was on the morning show, right, D-Mac? It's the best to our knowledge, right? Spenwell, can you confirm?
Yeah, he was.
Oh, because I was getting reports from social media that he was on the golf course today, and this was the outfit he wore. What Jeff Iafrate was here this morning, right? He was not on the golf course.
I think so.
Okay, I didn't know.
What is he, shagging balls?
Well, I think he's just being safe from the bees, you know, because when we were at Oakland Hills for the American Cancer Society golf outing, a singular
buzzed off like
a singular teenager bee, not even a full-grown bee.
Yeah, it was an adolescent bee.
Yeah, it was like a teenager bee flew didn't even it flew by us where we were broadcasting from, and Iafrate just took off running. Say, oh my God, it's a bee, it's a bee, it's a bee. Just took off running. So I don't know. I thought he was at the golf course, and I didn't know what was going on. So
that looked like that was like 1920 shagging balls in the range. You know, a guy out there scooping them up so he didn't get hurt. But
Let's Go Red Wings Party said the bee had a Kid Cudi shirt on. Oh man, you guys are best. You guys are the best, man. You absolutely are. D-Mac, I didn't get a chance to touch on this a lot. But I guess we did to some degree. But the Aquara brothers.
Ooh, good game.
And what they did with the Giants, what they did to the Giants. And look, I'll be honest about it, because I believe I'm one of the few people that is honest about this type of stuff. When I was constructing salary cap space for the offseason for the Lions, a lot of it largely revolved around cutting some of the Ajuaras.
Yeah.
To enable yourself to get more cap space. But when you reconstruct what they did, and look, time will tell. It's one preseason game, and I can always just fit it behind the narrative that a lot of people do and say, well, it was against backups, right? If you're anti someone, that's what you say. It's against backups. If you're pro someone, you say, oh, they were incredible during the preseason game. But D-Mac, I like it, man. I do.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And what this just tells me, Neal, a lot more is that Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell and everybody in Allen Park have their finger on the pulse of their roster and the guys that they have in there, right? And a lot of times, everybody gets all hot and bothered about who wasn't chosen. But a lot of times it's because you look and you say, well, I got the guy here already I think can do the job. And these are getting the opportunities. Now, that can't rest on your laurels, but one had 3 sacks, the other had 1 sack, but they were out there being effective. And these are guys that we, like you said, Neal, of all the guys we talk about on this football team so far, we haven't brought those guys up, and yet they're out there balling out. So it'll be something you need to see the consistency. But again, it just goes to show you depth. That's what we need.
And let's go Red Wing Sparty, I think, drills it pretty well. I forgot what both Ajuaras out there looks like. They were some dogs.
Yeah.
And I think there's a lot.
We all have because how
we haven't
could
seen
you?
it.
Right.
And I think there's a little bit of Cade Cunningham syndrome with the Ajuaras. Like, you forget that they're there. I think people have forgotten Cade Cunningham is with the Pistons. They're going to remember this year, I have the feeling. USA Basketball remembered about Cade Cunningham this summer. But, it is that, D-Mac, where...
Forget.
What's that?
I said never forget.
Never forget, brother. Never forget. But it does lend credence to, and there were some, the chat's got some in there right now. Some of the Brad Holmes, some anti-Brad Holmes sentiment about not addressing the linebacker spot, not addressing some of the other spots where it was very clear, certainly with the interior defensive line. And this is where, whether it works or it doesn't, I will give Brad Holmes credit for this. This was his move.
Yeah, it's his game plan.
This is how he was going to fill it
all day.
This is how, and it was never not going to be that, D-Mac.
Never not going to be. They're on the same page. It's not Brad Holmes calling the shots and being, the dictator or whatever. This is the whole group of them. When we say Brad Holmes, Dan Campbell, it means the whole organization. Everybody seems to be on the same page, and a lot of it, Neal, right, is getting the money and the salary cap and all that stuff. That's correct. But you got to get your personnel correct, who you believe in. I think it's the same conversation as when we were having about the Red Wings and why didn't Steve Yzerman draft this guy? Why didn't he? Because it's either not his fit or he feels the guys he's already got in the organization will do a better job or are willing to step up. And I think that when we're talking about the Ajuaras, because out of sight, out of mind, we forgot, but they haven't forgotten. Somebody in the chat there brought something up about Dan Campbell saying Houston's inconsistency so far in practice but it's really, that's unfortunate, but it's not, because it's next man up and the Ajuaras are taking advantage of it, which doesn't mean anything. It's still early, but I like to see it more than not.
D-Mac, do you have, because I'm getting this now already, do you have training camp fatigue?
Yeah,
and preseason fatigue.
Ready for the season. Yeah, because you know what? It's the same thing as like now you hear the little availability, injuries and stuff. But if guys are starting to go down and stuff, it's just like I'd rather it be with live fire, for lack of a better term. In a real game where it really matters. Yeah, I think it's just because hey, dude, it's tough being Brick for a month straight. Hey, Spenny, even you need a break, big dog. No, so I think that if it sped up, it'd be better. But be grateful, right? because there's only 3 preseason games. It'd be a lot worse if there was 4.
WoodwardSports.com chat thread. Corey Berry, who will you cut instead of Julian Okwara? I was doing this because we do this, right? The very second that a team season ends here on Big D Energy, we do a financial, 30,000-foot financial. And I kind of throw those things out there. Like moves, because guys, look, I'm not, like I know that I've kind of gotten the mantra of like the capologist here for Woodward Sports and stuff like that. It's not that deep. Depending on the sport, there is still some terminology that even I don't understand. The NBA is the worst at it. Like there's so many like layers on layers on layers of stuff that nobody has an idea of. All I try to do is just take a look and just kind of try to predict, because the talent and the stats don't tell you the story anymore with the offseason.
No, but that's why you got to trust. That's why you trust who's in charge.
Right.
And who's telling you things coming out. That's why you love Dan Campbell, because Dan Campbell will tell you what he's thinking or what the game plan is, right? And the fact is that's the biggest thing, on the same page. So there's things, and that's the way, aren't we talking about things that we always talk about other teams that are successful, right? This is what successful teams do, right? So again, I like it. I like having these conversations. And you know what? Isn't that what good teams do? They have to make tough decisions on personnel, not just, oh, well, man.
We're desperate for this dude.
Thank
Go
goodness
get this
a body.
dude.
We got a body there, bud. There's tough decisions that will be made. So that's why the training camp's so important.
But to answer your question, though, Corey Perry, depending on how it shakes out, depending on who's available, I will say this, and I just pulled it up just real quickly just to kind of answer your question. But I'll do the financial deep dive, obviously, at the end of the season because those things change. Romeo Okwara still could be, if it doesn't go well, he's playing for his life this year. He's got a $3.5 million dead cap number after this year, which could be very easily clipped. Very easily clipped. So, it is one of those things where, he's playing for his life. Absolutely. Planet Fitness, everybody. I told you, we're at the Planet Fitness Studios. I got my run in. I've been doing some outdoor running as of late. I'm training for this half marathon, this Free Press half marathon downtown. But today, my son had the orientation, so I had to drop him off at school to go do high school orientation. So I just, to quote Ric Flair, eased across the street over to the Planet Fitness because there's over 50 of them around the Detroit metro area. Doesn't matter. Hopped on the treadmill, ran the 7 miles out there, which was much, much better than running on the road, by the way. I did enjoy it. And I could do it at Planet Fitness. And I can run 7 miles at Planet Fitness because there's tons of cardio equipment. There's tons of weights. There's everything you need at Planet Fitness. Guys, I've been saying this to you for months. I don't understand why you would. If you have a gym membership, I'll never for the life of me understand why you're not at Planet Fitness. I won't. They've got everything you need. The gyms are all clean. The locker room facilities are great. The people are nice. So, if you're on a rock wall and that's worth $100 a month to you, cool. I'll be over at Planet Fitness. Black Card membership, $24.99 a month. Can go to over 2,400 of them with no paperwork to fill out. You just scan the app on your phone and you walk in any Planet Fitness in the world, guys. Don't make life harder. Make it easier with Planet Fitness. Go to planetfitness.com or just pull in the parking lot. It's Planet Fitness, Darren McCarty.
Planet Fitness, where your fitness is essential.
Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Woodward golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids, all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
At work and at home, we're there with smarter security solutions. Featuring complete automation with customized alerts and more. For over 90 years, we've been the company that's been counted on to protect what matters most, all with personalized service and care. Right now, for a limited time, receive a free video device plus free installation with a new home system. Guardian Alarm. We protect Michigan.
We don't like to brag that we are the toughest sports network in Detroit, but we do have a guy named Darren McCarty on our side. Woodward Sports.
Final segment of the show, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network. Neal, Ruhl, Darren McCarty, Parker Not Meadows, Spencer Raxter here in the building. Nick Hedigan in the WoodwardSports.com chat thread, D-Mac. Neal, put on your big boy pants and do the full marathon.
Yeah.
Those are like 4-hour training runs, man.
Yeah, no thanks.
Why? I don't even know why you're doing the half marathon. So.
I don't either. And I'm the one doing it.
You're like Ray going out there and doing the, I don't know, the running through the
Tough Mudder?
The Mudder thing, whatever he did.
Yeah.
The Mudder fight.
Yeah, my buddy and I had talked about doing a mini triathlon, and in retrospect, I wish I would have done that instead. But,
Next time.
I forget what the numbers are. What is it? It's a mile swim, it's a 13-mile bike, and then run a 5K.
Oh, okay.
The swim concerned me.
It's not that bad.
No, a mile though?
Yeah, it's not that bad.
It ain't that bad.
We used to do the Huntington Mile every year.
It wasn't bad?
You just get your pace and you go cruise.
Yeah. And that was kind of what I thought too.
Yeah.
Like, I figured I could recover a little bit on the bike ride. It's just that swim. And then like the how do you, because you do the swim first.
Yeah.
So you just run in those wet short, like, how does it work?
I don't know
the logistics of it either.
Logistics of it.
So, but Nick Hedigan's giving me shit, D-Mac, for not doing a full marathon.
All right. Rick said his race is 5 miles paddling, 10 miles trekking, and 30 miles on a bike.
Trekking, so walking. That means that's trying to be like a hard way, Rack, of saying walking. You were walking.
Sounds like, what are you, beaming up or something? You're trekking.
Come on, bro.
Come on, grow up, Ray.
Try to make it sound like more than it is. Rack, come on. Trekking. Oh, you mean walking. Putting one foot in front of you. I got it.
Nick Hedigan says you swim, bike, dry on the bike, and then run. So you get an air dry from the bike.
What about the shoes? Like, how do you...
You change them.
Yeah, I don't know.
They have where your bike's sitting when you come out of the water. And you strip,
Is that how it works?
And you put your shoes on and jump on, and then your next spot you have shoes.
Maybe we'll do that next year. Maybe I'll do a half marathon next year.
Woohoo.
You in, D-Mac?
No, fuck. What's wrong with you?
Yeah, fuck that.
I'll be sitting there smoking weed at the end going, hey, nice job, bro.
Yay, Neal. Yay, Neal. Call the Uber.
Here's your bourbon.
Mike G says he's doing a half marathon with
Jesus.
You didn't read it full, did you?
No, I did. I was trying to, because usually, D-Mac, how this works is, so when you do this, doing television stuff like that, I make the decision to say something, and I send that decision to my brain, and then the brain works, and then it produces the words, and then the words, come out of my mouth. The brain signs off on it. And then
once the brain signs off,
it's happening. Like, that's happening.
I get it.
Now, typically, D-Mac, what I'll do is I can do that, read, and make decisions in that split second of how I want to follow it up. Yeah, that's how TV works. Like, in that split second, I'll make the decision of how I want to respond to that. And I thought I had something clever lined up, but then it went away in that split second. Oh. But then I couldn't say that. Every now and then it happens. And what are you going to do?
Marathon with his left hand right now.
Thank you, Spedmo.
I'm a lefty too, Mike G.
Yeah. I call it the stranger.
Nice bond.
No, I'm a lefty. I actually am a lefty.
Way to bond. Well, I'm left-handed too, but
righty would be a stranger.
Well, not as long as you sit on it till it's numb. Right?
Yeah,
But anyway, Danny G says, I just spit my pre-workout drink everywhere when Neal said that because I'm currently walking on a treadmill for my warm-up. Yeah, you're trekking on the treadmill, I was told.
Trekking on the treadmill, as we've been told by Reg.
All right, back at it tomorrow. Tomorrow's Thursday, right? 5 Iron Golf.
Live from 5 Iron. Come on down.
Yeah, come on down to 5 Iron Golf.
Downtown if you're not doing anything.
You bringing the golf clubs, BMG? Absolutely. I like it. We'll see you guys tomorrow live from 5 Iron Golf in downtown Detroit. For D-Mac, Parker Not Meadows, BMG, Spencer Raxter, my name's Neal Ruhl. Thanks for tapping in. Well, see you later.